So this is going to be a striker-fired pistol comparison. And it's kind of funny because striker-fired pistols these days, they're all kind of the same but kind of different. So I'm going to talk about two different models here. And it's because I have them in my inventory, and they're both, I got them for right around the same price point, right in that $500 range. So this is the Springfield Armory XDm 9mm Elite and the CZ P10F 9mm. So striker-fired pistols, first off, they're common. They're all over the place. Again, they're kind of the same, but they're kind of different. They're usually what the difference is just small little cosmetics, a little bit of changes in the operating system and whatnot. But for the most part, they're all kind of the same. When you break them open and look at them, there's a whole lot of similarities, and it's just the nature of the beast. One thing to note, that any major firearm manufacturer that's successful right now, they're that way for a reason. In order to stay competitive in a very saturated market with tons of striker-fired handguns, your product has to be pretty decent. It has to be pretty reliable. It has to be pretty ergonomic, easy to shoot, all that good stuff, customizable. There's kind of a laundry list of items, but it has to be those things in order to just stay on the shelves. Otherwise, you're just not going to compete with the big names such as Smith, HK, Springfield, CZ, Glock, Canic, all those kinds, Ruger. So you have to have a good product, and for the most part, if you go out and you look at striker-fired handguns, for the most part, they mostly are good products. So don't worry yourself too much over the minutia of the details, unless that's your thing, of course. So don't concern yourself too much. Find something that works for you and just go with it. But I just wanted to throw these two together. Thought it'd be a decent video. So the XDm Elite I purchased just under $500. It was a sale price, so I got a screaming deal on it. Typically, I'm seeing these things for over $600, especially now. Same thing with the CZ P10F, right around the $500 mark. And, you know, I've seen the CZ P10s go for cheaper too. It just depends on the specific model and what time frame or where and when and all that good stuff you're buying it. So keep your eyes open, you'll find some good deals. Now these are both new. They were both purchased new, so this isn't used guns. Used guns is kind of a totally different world out there that I may get into a little bit more as time goes on, because that's kind of a totally different thing. But I just wanted to compare and just kind of show you just kind of the differences and the similarities. So hopefully you folks will find it a little bit interesting. Put your comments in the comment section below. And while you're watching this, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I have to throw in that spiel, and there's a reason I do. Support all the gun YouTubers out there. Support them. How you show your support is make sure you're throwing your like or your dislike. If you don't like it, then say so. Subscribe to the channel, leave comments, all that good stuff. So anyway, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the magazines. And I'm not factoring the magazines in the comparison. And that's because the magazines are kind of the same, but different. You know, they're both 19-round magazines from the factory. But this has a factory extended base plate, and this is an aftermarket base plate. So you can kind of, most of the modern striker-fired guns, you can buy base plates for, and you can modify magazines and make the standard capacity a little bit higher or whatever you want to do. So I'm kind of taking those out. I want to look at the gun itself. So let's start with the XDm 9mm Elite. So I've talked about this before already, so I'm not going to go into the technical specs on these so much. I'm just going to compare the features of them between the two, because that's usually what matters. The weight on these, they're roughly the same in hand. And again, I'm not going over these specifications because I think what's really important is in hand. How does it feel? And that makes a difference. You can have something that might be a little bit slightly heavier in hand, or it might be a little bit heavier, but it feels better in hand than a light product, just depending on how the weight is distributed and whatnot. So first off, the XDM, 9mm, well made. It's based off the XDM lineup. This is the XDm Elite. So it has nice sights. I do like the fiber optics. That is a good deal on this. The slide serrations on this, they're very simple, but they're well done. The cuts are larger, so there's just less cuts overall in comparison to the CZB 10, but it's still very grippy. So good on them. Pick rail, no issues there. It's just standard pick rail. The hooked trigger guard with the texturing up front. A long time ago, I used to shoot with my hand wrapped around the trigger guard like that. So if you do that, then good on you. This will work perfect for it. And I know they do that. It looks nice and all that stuff, and it tends to wrap around when you have lights and whatnot. It tends to wrap around pretty good. I don't shoot that way anymore, so I could take it or leave it. It doesn't matter to me. But nice little feature there. The one improvement that I like on this versus some of the other XDs is this flat face trigger right here. It's still a standard striker fired trigger, but it's flat faced. So you can see right there how it kind of provides a flat surface when you near the end of your trigger pull. Now I don't have the safety engaged here, so I'm not going all the way through, but I like the feel of that. That's very nice. I like that little deal. The trigger is decent. It's not the best trigger out there. The XDM trigger, I'll try and demo here. So here we go. There's the wall. A little bit more creep. There's your brake. And then the reset. There it is. It's not bad. It's still kind of mushy. The XD triggers are kind of mushy in my opinion. They're good. They're good triggers, but they're a little bit mushy. But it does feel good on the finger. Magazine release and whatnot, same thing. Just standard magazine release. It is ambi along with the controls, so that's kind of a nice deal. Slide lock, slide release, all that good stuff. There's enough meat there to use, but it's not cumbersome. It doesn't get in the way. The grip safety. It's just one of those design things, I think, to set it apart from other striker-fired guns. Do I think a grip safety is needed on a striker-fired handgun? No. It's not a bad deal. I'll kind of show here how much you need to push this in order to work. So here's the trigger, and right there, see, I can't pull the trigger. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll just push in a little bit, and I'll keep pushing in. And I'll try it again here. What I'm trying to show you is how much it takes. You almost have to pretty much push this all the way in order for the trigger to actuate. Another thing right here is if I don't have the grip safety actuated, I can't chamber around. That I'm not a fan of. So I'll kind of show again. You see how it kind of locks. That I'm not a fan of. I do not like that on these. And the reason I'm saying is if you're using this as a fighting handgun and you're in a weird angle, you have to use a one-handed manipulation to chamber around. Maybe the grip on your gun isn't the best and you have to use a weird angle. I do not like that you have to have a full firing grip in order to reciprocate the slide. That is a thumbs down in my opinion. I don't like that. I think it's unneeded. I really do. So that's kind of a bad deal on this. But as long as you have a full grip on there won't be any issues. It's a good firing gun. Still, for a good self-defense gun, just realize your limitations. Very reliable. No issues with the reliability, all that good stuff. The grip right here, these are nice. Good texturing. I do like the texturing. Provides for a little bit of grip. Not as grippy as the Glocks and the CZ feel, in my hand at least, and other guns, but still very good. So no issues there. One thing I do like right here is the magwell. I got a little bit of this flared magwell right here integrated with the gun, and I really dig that. I think that's cool. I like that magwell. Some people have different thoughts on it. As long as it's not too obnoxious or anything like that, like a competition magwell, I don't mind. It certainly helps with the reloads. Although you can be extremely lightning fast on reloads with something like this. So, but no, I do like that feature. That's pretty cool. The takedown's pretty easy. All you have to do is swivel this up, and and then almost pulled the trigger there. You don't even need to pull the trigger to take this apart. But there you go. Standard guts, like a lot of the striker fired guns. I'm not going to get into that too much, but the takedown's pretty easy. I do dig the takedown. So overall, I really dig the really dig this handgun. The grip safety is kind of a sore spot with me. It's a good safety feature, and I get that, but the fact that it prohibits a little bit on the slide movement, and it has to be fully depressed in order for the trigger to work. You know, I really don't think it's anything that's needed for this. As far as the top chamber indicator here, yeah, that's not a bad safety feature. The exposed striker on the back here, the rear of the striker assembly, to tell you that it is cocked. Yeah, because it's a tactile. I can sit there and run my finger behind, I guess, to see that it is at least cocked. The striker's cocked and in battery, all that good stuff. The overall profile of the gun, the looks of the gun, it's good to go. I mean, it looks sharp. There's no issues there. So overall, you know, I do like it. Again, the biggest quirk is that damn grip safety. Just the fact that it includes, I don't like it that it includes the slide from operating. I don't dig it. So now let's get on to the CZ-P10F. So I'll move this out of the way here. So CZ-P10F. This is one of those, I've talked about it before, this is one of those sleeper firearms. And the reason I say that is, you'll see these CZs sitting in cases, and they're kind of unassuming from far away. It just looks like another standard striker-fired gun. And in a sea of Glocks, it doesn't stand out much, honestly, in a gun case. It really doesn't. So it was a long time until I actually got my hands on one, and this is the P10F. They have the C model as well and whatnot, and I might get one of those for carry because I really do like these models. I like the F here. It's just a full size. I wanted something full size fighting handgun. I got big old fat hands, so it kind of works for me. So we'll start off. The design, you know, there's really nothing special about the CZ design. It does offer the profile here, the dust cover goes all the way out to the end, which I dig. I like that standard pick rail, of course, for all your lights and lasers and whatever you want to throw on there. The trigger. So this does not have a grip safety, which good deal, because like I said, there's no occluding operation of the slide. So if I have to hold this gun in a weird angle or I'm injured or something, I can still facilitate racking the slide. I don't have to have a perfect grip. So good to go there. It's not a needed item. The trigger. So let's see if I can show the trigger here. So there's the trigger. There's the wall right there. Distance roughly the same as the XD. And then I'll show the brake. A little bit of creep. And there's a nice clean brake. And there's the reset. Very tactile. Much better than the XD. Much better. So the trigger beats out the XD right off the bat. And the fact that it doesn't have a grip safety beats out the XD right off the bat. Right there. So slide serrations. A little bit more slide serrations than the XD, but they're very grippy. The front slide serrations as well. So it's more of a styling thing. They both work. It's just kind of a aesthetic thing, I guess, in the end. But both are good to go. The takedown on this, I don't like the takedown. I don't like the Glock style. I call them the Glock style. I don't like those takedowns. They're easy enough to do. All you have to do is just like a Glock, and that's what I'm talking about is right here. You pull these two down, and then slide comes forward. All that good stuff. Just like a Glock, there's really no difference there. I just don't dig it. Now, it could be argued that it's, you know, it's less obtrusive, and that's true because there's really nothing hanging out. There's a little bit of a lever hanging out on this, but it's nice and smooth, so it's not an issue. So I'm not a big fan of that. It looks clean. I get it. It really looks clean, especially on the design of this gun, so it looks nice. It's very simple. It's just my deal. Does it bother me too much? No, not really. It's just one of those, out of the two, which one do I prefer? I'll take that one right there. That looks a little bit better. Feels a little bit better, too. So, slide lock, slide release. It doesn't stick out as much as on the XD. It's more integrated in. It still has a ledge here, so you can still operate if that's your thing, versus coming over and charging the gun like so. So it's still there. It is not. It is ambidextrous, but I'll just say it's not overly obtrusive on either side. So it's a very slim package. I like that. It kind of goes with the lines of this. It's a very slim, angular, sleek looking gun. The magazine release magazine release button has a little bit more texture right here. I like the overall design of it better than on the XDM, just an aesthetic thing. The grip feels better in my hands, much better than this. So I got to hand it to CZ again for the grip here. The texturing, it's aggressive enough, but it's not overly aggressive. It's good to go there. You can change out back straps on both of these, by the way, so that's not an issue there. This does not have a magwell, which that kind of wins right there, because I do like the little bit of inclusion of a magwell. I think that's kind of a big deal. It's not a need, certainly not a need. I can still do fast reloads, and it still keeps a sleek profile, but a magwell is nice, so I kind of dig that this has a magwell. This does not have a chamber loaded indicator on the top, does not have the fancy exposed on the back, which no big deal for me. It doesn't matter. It's not a detriment to this gun at all. In fact, the nice clean lines. The sights are a 3-dot variety. Standard sights, but I do like them. Out of the two, which do I prefer? I actually prefer the CZ. I love the fiber optic front sight as far as ease of use and whatnot. The fiber optic front sights typically can be damaged a lot easier than steel standard sights such as this, but the drawback is these aren't as visible as the fiber optic. So for as far as practicality, the fiber optic front sight will win a little bit, but if I'm looking for just a hardcore rugged gun, these are going to win right here. And I just dig the profile of the sights. That's just me. I already talked about takedown. I don't like the takedown on this. Ease of use, the ergonomics in hand between the two, between the P10F and the XDM. The P10F feels more streamlined in my hands. Bore axis seems to be a little bit lower. I haven't measured it to see how much lower it is, but it seems to be a little bit lower. It just feels better in my big old chunky fat hands. The handling is better. This thing is almost like cheating. I'll tell you that right now. XDs are very easy shooting as well, but I think the CZ, at least for me, it takes a little bit. And you kind of see where I'm going at with this whole video. I like them both, but I'll say this, the CZ wins. It's a very, very well-made gun. I really dig the CZ products. I like them all, but I think they really hit a home run here. This thing is what I think Glocks should be at this current moment. I'm not trying to bash Glocks. Glocks are an awesome gun, but I'd like to see a little bit more innovation out of them. They kind of keep churning the same thing, and I get why they're doing it, because it sells, it's a good product, and people keep buying it. But a little bit of design changes, such as like what's on here, I think that would do Glock some good. The extractors. So this is an internal extractor versus an external extractor. You see it right there. So there can be arguments. It seems like the extractor is a little bit more beefy on this. I haven't heard any real gripes. I don't know if you can see down in there. You can see the extractor right there. It's an internal on this and external on that. There could be debates on what's better and what not. I guess I don't really have a dog in the fight on that one, but I guess it's just the aesthetic thing. It doesn't matter to me. I kind of like that. It looks good to me. It doesn't bother me having an external, so no issues there. Aftermarket support. They both have good aftermarket support, so no issues there. So I think the biggest thing for me, if I had to choose one of these, they said, okay, you got to pick one for whatever damn reason. It's going to be the CZ every time. And that's just, it is what it is. I like them both. I do honestly think Springfield makes a good product. I think their grip safety is kind of a hindrance. If they would work on that a little bit, again, I just really don't understand that right there. I don't get it. It locks up the slides. I don't know why that's considered a good feature. And this, I can still load no problem. So it is what it is. All right. Enough yammering out of me. Feel free to put in your thoughts below and whatnot. And again, this is just opinion-based video, just kind of looking at these two things. So take it with a grain of salt, okay? No big deal there. Anyway, in the end, buy both. If you're really worried about it, heck, it's a free country. Freedom's rad. Both of these guns are pretty awesome, and they both do really good at the range. And then, of course, go with what your tastes are. You know, that's kind of a get out of jail type thing. You know, whatever your tastes are is what you should get. Don't let anybody else dictate. So, all right, thanks always for watching. I hope everybody's being safe out there. I hope you're having good luck finding ammo and firearms, accessories, and all that good stuff without paying too much. And, yeah, I'll talk to you again later.